Habari za wakati huu, mtazamaji wa Salaam TV, karibu katika matangazo ya moja kwa moja mubashara kutoka katika ukumbi wa mikutano wa Julius Nyerere International Convention Center JNICC, ambapo leo Aprili 28 mpaka Aprili 30 kutakuwa na mkutano wa wakurugenzi wa upelelezi wa makosa jinai kutoka Shirikisho la Wakuu wa Majeshi ya Polisi Kusini mwa Afrika, ambapo utakuwa nami Gift Steven Mbando nikiwa na Gloria Maganza.
Nikukumbusha tu mpenzi mtazamaji wa Salaam TV, mgeni rasmi ambaye anatarajia kufungua mkutano huu si mwingine ni Mkuu wa Jeshi la Polisi Nchini, IGP Camillus Wambura, ambaye huyu ni mwenyekiti wa Shirikisho la Majeshi ya Polisi kutoka nchi wanachama zilizopo kusini mwa Afrika, yani Sarpcco. Na mwenyekiti wake aliupata mwaka 2024 tarehe 13 mwezi Juni kule nchini Lusaka nchini Zambia, akikabidhiwa kijiti hicho na Mkuu wa Jeshi la Polisi la Zambia Aprili Musaba.
Takribani nchi 16 tayari naweza kusema kwamba Glory wameshafika hapa na wajumbe wao pamoja na wale wakurugenzi wa upelelezi wa makosa jinai, na wameambatana na wajumbe ambao hakika watakwenda pia kujadiliana masuala mbalimbali kuhusiana na ule uhalifu, unaweza kusema hivyo, ambao unavuka mipaka.
Jambo lingine ambalo watakwenda kulijadili ni kuhusiana na uhalifu wa biashara haramu ya binadamu sambamba na uhalifu wa biashara za dawa za kulevya.
Vile vile pia watakwenda kujadiliana na pia na yale makosa ya wizi wa magari. Haya, huu kuvuka ni uhalifu ambao unavuka mipaka, yani kutoka nchi moja kwenda nchi nyingine. Ndio.
Na nchi basi hizo tuweze kukutajia baadhi ya nchi 16 ambazo zinashiriki mkutano huu, ikiwemo Afrika Kusini, Angola, Botswana, Shelisheli,
Eswatini, bila kusahau Zimbabwe na Lesotho pia wako hapa wakiweza kuendelea kujadiliana. Nakumbuka baada ya afande IGP kufungua mkutano huu, baadaye mwenyeji wao sasa atakuwa ni mkurugenzi wa upelelezi wa makosa ya jinai nchini,
si mwingine
DCI Ramadhani Kingai, ndio ataenda kuwaongoza katika kuweza kuchakata kile ambacho watakwenda kujadiliana hapa. Basi moja kwa moja tujiunge na SP Christina Mponji akiwa ndani kwa ajili ya kuendelea na kile ambacho kinaendelea hapo ndani.
Honorable Sir, please, before we proceed, allow me to pass you through the program here today, where we will have a welcoming remark delivered by CP Ramadhani Hamisi Kingai, and then we will have remarks from Mr. Selo Moirane, Head of Interpol Arabi Harare. Thereafter, we will have a remark from Mr. Nyani Gumede, who will then welcome you, sir, for a keynote address. And after that, we'll have a group photos, which will be taken just outside the room. Protocols will direct us. And after the group photos, we'll have tea, coffee break. Honorable Sir, before we proceed, please, may we stand to observe a minute of silence to remember police officers who died on the line of duty. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Amen. Please, I kindly request you to get seated. Honorable Sir, to proceed with our program, please allow me now to welcome Afande Ramadhani Hamisi Kingai, Chairperson of PCSC, and the Police Commissioner in charge of CD Tanzania, for a welcoming remark. Please, you're welcome, sir.
Guest of honor, Sarpcco Chairperson IGP Camillus Wambura, sir, the Chief of Tanzania Police Force, CP Maxwell Timber, Director of CID Zambia, and the outgone chairperson of the PS Permanent Coordinating Subcommittee, DCP Jesse Nyirongo, DCI and head of NCB from Lilongwe, Malawi, the incoming chairperson of the Permanent Coordinating Subcommittee, Ms. Tanyani Gumede, head of Sarpcco SADC Secretariat, Mr. Selo Mwerane, head of Interpol Regional Bureau, Harare, distinguished members of the PCSC and your delegations, members of other Sarpcco subcommittees, senior Tanzania police officers present, representatives from SADC Secretariat, representatives from Interpol Arabi Harare, members of the local organizing committee, invited guests, members of press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I take this opportunity to firstly thank our Almighty God for protecting us, making us meet each other today with good health in this important meeting. Secondly, I would like to welcome you all to this important meeting, the gathering that has brought together directors of criminal investigation, heads of training, women network, legal and Interpol NCBs. Please welcome to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and more importantly to this important meeting. Dear delegates, join me to welcome our chief guest, IGP Camillus Wambura, the Chief of Tanzania Police Force, who is also the chairperson of the Sarpcco. Sir, the meeting you are about to open comprises of members of Sarpcco technical organs from 16 member countries, namely Angola, Botswana, Comoro, DRC, Eswatini, Malawi. I'm not sure if Mauritius and Mozambique are here, but we have Namibia, South Africa, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. With us also, we have SADC Director of Organ. No, I'm not sure also if at all this one is here. The head of Interpol Regional Bureau Harare and representatives from Interpol General Secretariat. Guests of honor, sir. It is almost 10 months since we lastly met in Lusaka, Zambia. In this long period, much could have occurred. Since we live with criminals, it is obvious that some serious crime incidents could have occurred in one of member country that need to be shared. Thus, we have met today as a team of technical organs to discuss regional security issues and challenges. As we all know, our region is not an isolated island. Criminals have continued to use the advantage of our porous borders in both official and non-official ones. Some of these criminals find our region as a safe haven to hide and use it as a laughing ground of their illegal planned operations. Thus, this forum is very crucial in addressing transnational organized crimes. Furthermore, this meeting will go through last year's deliberations evaluate its implementation by member countries, and strategize on those not well addressed. As we all know, our region has a number of security threats, ranging from traditional crime to the emerging new crimes, all of which need to be tackled proactively. Thus, this is one of a good platform where strategic leaders gather and they put in place implementable strategies. Guest of honor, sir, my role was just to give a welcome remark. Therefore, let me conclude by once again welcoming our technical organs members to Tanzania, and importantly to this Sarpcco technical organs meeting. In concluding my remarks, I would likewise invite all members to spend your extra time to explore the touristic beauty and the commercial vastness of the city of Dar es Salaam and Tanzania generally, while I ensure you maximum safety while you are in the city. Welcome all to Tanzania and feel at home. Thank you for listening. Asanteni kwa kunisikiliza. Merci beaucoup. Muito obrigado.
Thank you, sir, for welcoming remarks. And now, Honorable Sir, with your permission, may I welcome Mr. Selo Moirane, Head of Interpol, Arabi Harare, for the remarks. Please, you're welcome, sir.
Africa, guest of honor, Mr. Camillus Wambura, Inspector General of Tanzanian Police, also the chairperson of Sarpcco, chairperson of the Permanent Coordinating Subcommittee, Commissioner of Criminal Intelligence or Criminal Investigating Department of United Republic of Tanzania, Mr. Ramadan Kamgai, Senior Officer SADC Police Sarpcco, Ms. Tanyani Gumede, Directors of Criminal Intelligence Investigation Department present here, heads of NCB, chairpersons of Technical Committees, Legal Training and Women Network, SADC Secretariat and Interpol Regional Bureau staff, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Good morning. It is my humble honor and with great sincerity of appreciation to render my remarks at this meeting of the heads of the technical organ of Sarpcco in Dar es Salaam, in the Republic of United Tanzania. Chairperson of Sarpcco, Mr. Wambura, IGP of Tanzania, the directors of the CIDs, chairpersons of technical organs, and the head of NCBs in Tanzania, let me thank you so very much and extend my gratitude for your phenomenal and excellent organization of this meeting and event. Chairperson, your leadership and attentiveness to effective and equally Afande IGP, you have thrusted Sarpcco and the URT police force into observable good course and direction. Permit me to reference my profound adoration to you, Chairperson, as an individual, but also as a leader of good taste operationally and strategic excellence. Afande, IGP, I wish to recognize the substantial contribution of the Sarpcco's technical committees, as well as the heads of CID from 16 Sarpcco member states for your contribution in developing a topical crime-field agenda. Our region, the sum total of it, the initiative that comes from you, is very invaluable. Relentless efforts that you are conducting in your countries, but also in the region, in shaping the region's security architecture is enviable and has put the region into a remarkable trajectory. Southern Africa member states record undeniable patterns of national successes, identifiable, of course, in the lead use of the role of intelligence in the operational space and border management interventions. I wish to enumerate few among other successful interventions that you have carried through that have rendered and shaped the regional operations. Equally important is your efforts in ensuring that you domesticate and you implement SADC integrated strategy to combat transnational organized crime. This you have been doing through national dialogues, private consultation, and private partnership with law enforcement, and you are shaping the course of the region, starting from your own countries. We have seen from the region the increased visible promotion of the case investigative coordination, more so in stolen motor vehicles, stock theft, and deep cyber fakes. Equally, the regional bureau, supported by the SADC Secretariat, we have continued to implement Interpol smuggling training and operation program on borders, and thus far, few member states have hosted this. I wish to take this moment and to admonish Eswatini, which are due in course to host this intervention, to please give us your authorization as quick as you could. Crime threat assessment supported with analytical methodologies to aggregate risk and rank priorities. Interpol Regional Bureau and SADC Secretariat are equally pleased that member states, though not to satisfactory level, you continue to share information in assisting the region to develop a regional crime threat assessment, which ordinarily needs to be a document that advises leadership in decision making as well as resource deployment. The region has come up with 5 operations that are run out through annually, and they are run in line with thematic crime issues such as cross-border illicit movements of goods and persons, gender risk priorities of women involved in high echelons of transnational organized crime, also amnesty prevention of arms circulations. These operations are speaking to these themes. I wish to submit, ladies and gentlemen, that this intervention to an extent provide the region with a better perspective of understanding transnational organized crime and heighten the use of intelligence in mapping risks, hotspots, and ensure that resources are deployed optimally. Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, it's alluring though to rest our laurels and celebrate these successes. However, we must be equally reminded the world is continually changing, ushering new opportunities of cross-border crimes. Though there is an amount of success, we need to increase our activities. The emergence or the re-emergence of the trade war that is currently plaguing the international and the global markets cannot be ignored. Whether it has come with insecurities and vulnerabilities that are very glaring to global security and are also fueling organized crime. And we, as a developing economies and regions, we are not spared from this war. We are seeing, because of this war, the increase in cyber and digital deriving organized crime that continue to render scourge such as trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants very much on an increase. the lack of access, of course, to our economic youth sector. It's also immensely contributing to the drug manufacturing, trafficking, and consumption thereof. Heads of CIDs of the Sarpcco region, you would also be mindful that the scourge of stolen motor vehicle is a menace that is troubling us very much. The theft, the robbery, the hijacking of motor vehicles from South Africa has been across all the region, and it poses an existential security threat to the region. This meeting, I hope you will guide us to come up with initiatives that will ensure that we deal with this through cooperation and collaboration. The rampant crime of stock theft, wildlife, infrastructure destruction, illegal mining, and counterfeit goods and pharmaceutical products are also on the increase. In response to these growing criminalities, there is an ever-nascent need to enhance regional border cooperation, intelligence exchange real time, of course, coordinating investigation through case coordination, conduct extraterritorial investigation, as well as cross-border pursuit and real-time policing exchange. Heads of CID, allow me to comment our limitation in this regard. I may sound contradictory to say we have successes, but as a region, we are observing equally glaring gaps in communication among yourselves, respectively, so the heads of CIDs. And we wish to submit to you that your lack of communication among yourself and to the region contributes extensively to the growing phenomenon of organized crime. Equally, we want to submit that as a region, we are doing far less, hence we have used the stop to try and mitigate the risk of less utilization of Interpol policing capabilities and tools. But we want to submit to you that as a region, we have come up with a strategy. SADC will speak to that. We have employed IOM consultant to assist us to come up with the regional border management strategy. Chairperson, as the region, we are occasioned by the most important events that will happen in this year, 3 of them. In June, the Regional Bureau Harare will host an Africa contact person where all 54 members of the African continent will submit a focal person to discuss issues of police coordination and international police cooperation. Equally so, we are thanking South Africa for availing themselves to host the Africa Regional Conference in Cape Town. It will happen in August 27 to 29 or 30th, if I'm not mistaken, 2025. We encourage the heads of crime intelligence and the heads of the police to really attend this meeting, because this is where your voice in shaping policing or law enforcement issues internationally can be heard. Chairperson, I wish to submit as well with respect and humility that the region has got a candidacy in Interpol Executive Committee. However, it's coming to an end. I wish to submit that in Marrakesh, Morocco this year, we'll be ushering new candidacies into this important organization of global policing. Play the role of the board members. The presidency will be vacant, as well as the delegate for Africa. How I wish this region can be futuristic and visionary about these candidacies. There's powerful roles of international law enforcement platform, and choose wisely to ensure that Sarpcco as a prominent player contributes in the shifting dynamics of global policing order. Chairperson, I know my speech is long, but let me quote Theodore Roosevelt. He had this to say, and I believe it has a meaning for our meeting this week. Roosevelt went on to say, it's not critic who counts, not the man who points how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of the deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strive valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcomings, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasm, great devotion, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of a high achievement, who at worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. I close the quote. Chairperson, all I'm saying is the region security, architect and agenda, and of course, mapping course of action lies with all represented here. The answers are with us. The answers are not from the foreign agencies coming with training or coming with interventions to tell you what to do. You, heads of crime intelligence, of CIDs, technical organs, heads of NCB, and everybody represented in this room, you have a role to make sure that your region is safe. Chairperson, with these few remarks, I wish to submit and conclude, and to appreciate you as a country for hosting this, but also to thank SADC Secretariat for their very pronounced leadership in ensuring that these events are happening. And thank you so much, Madam Tanyani, for your sterling leadership and guidance to the region. We will forever hold your hand in making sure we make this region a safer one. Merci beaucoup. Ziko Mopambili, thank you very much. Muito obrigado. Asante sana.
A round of applause, please. Thank you. Honorable Sir, after that remark from Mr. Selomo Irane, who is the head of Interpol Arabi Harare, may I now, with your permission, welcome Ms. Tanyani Gumede, Senior Officer, Police SADC and Sarpcco Secretariat, for remarks, and thereafter she will welcome you, sir, for a keynote address. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guest of honor, the program director. Guest of honor, and the Sarpcco chairperson, Inspector General of Tanzania Police Force, Mr. Camillus Wambura. The chairperson of the PCSC, which is the Permanent Coordinating Subcommittee, and of course, the Police Commissioner in charge of CID of Tanzania Police Force, Mr. Ramadan Hamisi Kingai. The incoming chairperson of the PCSC and the outgoing chairperson of the PCSC, the head of Interpol Regional Bureau Harare, Mr. Silo Mwerane, who is also my brother, members of the Permanent Coordinating Subcommittee, who are also the heads and directors of CID represented here this morning. My dear colleagues from the SADC Secretariat and Interpol Regional Bureau Harare, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. Good morning. Yeah, you don't sound very happy, or should I say habari? Okay, it sounds better. Guest of honor, I am profoundly pleased to make some remarks at this momentous occasion, the official opening of the Sarpcco Technical Organs meeting. As you are all aware, this is an important meeting which provides the platform for the annual general meeting of the chiefs of police, which we normally have in June. Therefore, the need for us to optimally utilize this meeting to enhance regional frameworks and efforts to prevent and combat the ever-changing transnational organized crime cannot be overemphasized. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to extend our profound gratitude and acknowledge the presence of the guest of honor, the Sarpcco chairperson and the Inspector General, Chief of Police of Tanzania Police Force, Mr. Camillus Wambura. Guest of honor, sir, we're truly indebted to your visionary leadership and concerted efforts to rally us towards a common purpose, and for not only inspiring confidence in us, but for unlocking our potential to become better as well. Sir, your humility, clarity, and courage to unequivocally confront evolving transnational organized crime motivate and coalesce us around SADC's vision 2050, which envisages a peaceful, inclusive, competitive, middle to high income industrialized region where all citizens enjoy sustainable economic well-being, justice, and freedom. Sir, we wish to thank you very much for your guidance, your leadership, and inspiration through your chairship. And similarly, let me take this opportunity as well to express our heartfelt thanks to the government of the United Republic of Tanzania, as the chair, of course, of the organ, for availing the requisite resources, as well as putting in place logistical and administrative arrangements for hosting the Sarpcco technical organs meeting under the global austerity measure. Indeed, we are very much grateful and indebted to the unparalleled courtesies and hospitality we have been and are still receiving, Chairperson. We really appreciate this. Thank you very much. Similarly, let me also take this opportunity to acknowledge the Chairperson of the PCSC, Commissioner of Police, Mr. Ramadani Kingai, under whose leadership this meeting will be conducted. We look forward to your guidance and leadership for a progressive meeting in preparation for the Chiefs of Police agenda in June 2025. In the same vein, may I also applaud the head of Interpol Regional Bureau Harare, Mr. Silo Merane, and his team for the unwavering commitment to advance the cause and efforts of Sarpcco to combat transnational organized crime. The need for effective implementation of regional strategies, instruments, and decisions aimed at combating transnational organized crime entails the SADC Secretariat and Interpol as a multi-global organization through its Interpol Regional Bureau Harare to forge and foster strong partnerships and understanding and complementarity. So I would be failing in my duty if I do not commend the directors of CID, who are the permanent coordinating committee, subcommittee members, and their delegations for being reliable and very consistent when it comes to setting the stage right for the success of the police chiefs meetings. You have sacrificed your precious time once again to come and prepare the roadmap for the successful holding of the 2025 Chiefs of Police Annual General Meeting. I am very confident that, as usual, robust engagements are going to be undertaken. We thank you so much for enhancing the work of the region in combating transnational organized crime. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is very worrisome to note that transnational organized crime is increasingly posing significant and growing threat to national, regional, and international security, with catastrophic consequences on our regional integration and industrialization agenda. We're steadily witnessing not only the expansion of criminal networks, but also diversification of criminal activities, resulting in convergences of threats that were once very distinct, as well as the expansion of illicit markets that are mostly cyber-enabled. Therefore, the dexterity of criminality and transnational organized crime calls upon us to be very dynamic, agile, creative, and very innovative if we are to certainly and ensure that we actually succeed in addressing transnational organized crime. These criminal syndicates have sound resources under their disposal and are always futuristic in their greedy criminal undertakings. They plan well ahead of time, with no respect of borders, sovereignty, or territorial integrity of any country. And they have no legal frameworks within which they operate. And they always make thorough analysis of law enforcement agencies' posture, demeanor, and most importantly, operational capacity and strategies as a launchpad for hatching and unleashing novel and counter modus operandi. We therefore need to commend US law enforcement agencies in different countries in the region for unwavering commitment to combat transnational organized crime, despite operating under austerity measures that are currently limiting you as law enforcement to execute your responsibilities. They are fighting well-oiled organized crime syndicates, which can easily afford to bribe some law enforcement agents for them to undertake their criminal activities with impunity. Accordingly, this is a clear call for us to intensify our initiatives and efforts aimed at preventing and combating transnational organized crime. Distinguished delegates, we don't only have regional strategic instruments for combating TOC, but also continental and international instruments on which we can safely anchor our efforts to fight the scourge through effective implementation. However, our major setback as a region regarding efforts to fight TOC is lack of effective implementation of the very same regional instruments that we have developed, as well as continental and international strategic instruments. And this is truly an unfortunate situation because we really lack collaboration, cooperation, and coordination at national and intergovernmental levels. And to this end, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to commend and congratulate the Republic of Namibia, being the first country, and the Republic of Zimbabwe, Kingdom of Eswatini, Republic of South Africa, who also just recently joined Namibia and Zimbabwe and Eswatini, for heeding the call by the MCO for member states, MCO being the Ministerial Committee of the Organ on Politics, Defense, and Security, for heeding the call to request for technical assistance for the development of national strategies to domesticate and operationalize the SADC integrated strategy and action plan to prevent and combat TOC due to the complexity of domesticating the regional TOC strategy. With the support from the SADC Secretariat and Interpol Regional Bureau Harare, these member states conducted national multi-stakeholder consultative meetings to pave way for the development of national strategies to prevent and combat TOC. As we speak, the development of their national strategies is at various stages, with some of the draft strategies awaiting approval. This is a highly commendable, and it is reflective of the commitment by these member states to effectively implement the SADC integrated strategy to prevent and combat TOC. And we thus continue to call upon other member states who might need technical assistance to develop their own national strategies to prevent and combat TOC to also come forth. Equally, we are also encouraging member states to simultaneously implement other important strategic instruments such as the SADC protocol on the control of firearms, ammunition, and other related materials, the protocol on combating illicit drug trafficking, and most importantly, to ratify the protocol against trafficking in persons and other strategies such as the counterterrorism strategy, amongst others. Let me also urge member states who have not yet actually considered to do anything about the counterterrorism strategy to also do something about it, including developing their own national action plans. Ladies and gentlemen, the region is indeed grappling with cases of trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants, and the coming into force and the implementation of this protocol against trafficking in persons is expected to go a long way in addressing the scourge of trafficking persons. If not ratified, this will fragment and weaken the regional approach in addressing trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants. It is also crystal clear that most victims affected are women and children who are not necessarily supported and protected by law enforcement agencies like ourselves. It is therefore essential for us to enhance our efforts in addressing the scourge against women and children, who are the most vulnerable elements of our greater society. Chairperson, guests of honor, distinguished delegates, it is high time that the region must put more efforts in programs relating to women in peace and security, including efforts on disarmament or efforts to combat small arms and light weapons, counterterrorism, peace support operations, as well as policing the vulnerable groups. Ladies and gentlemen, let me reiterate that as a region, we're grappling with the lack of data on transnational organized crime. Organized crime syndicates, and their modus operandi, amongst others. I say this in plea because last year I pleaded with you on the very same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, you will truly agree with me that without the relevant data, accurate and timeous data, our interventions in fighting TOC will just remain reactive as opposed to proactive. We cannot come up with data-driven policies, programs, and other interventions. Last year, I humbly submitted that maybe you, as the Sarpcco Permanent Coordinating Subcommittee, must now step in and coordinate the compilation of the TOCSA data collection tool as per the prescribed schedule. Ordinarily, the decisions and measures the Sarpcco Technical Organs Meeting recommend to the chiefs of police must be mainly informed by the outcome of consolidated TOCSA reports from all member states. And unfortunately, there is no improvement when it comes to the compilation and submission of the TOCSA data collection. It is sad to note that lack of statistical data on transnational organized crime comprises objective reporting to the interstate defense, and so it compromises the objective reporting to the Interstate Defense and Security Committee, the Ministerial Committee of the organ, as well as Council and Summit, on the extent and magnitude on transnational organized crime in the region and the work being done with the chiefs of police in this regard. Without data, our view on the magnitude and impact on transnational organized crime in the region will remain just an opinion, unfortunately. I therefore hope that your meeting is going to address this challenge and proper recommendations to improve on the compilation and submission of the data by means of this revised and approved TOCSA data collection tool. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, allow me on a very sad note to take this opportunity I should be excited, but unfortunately I am not. Allow me to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Simbarashe Manjera, whose tenure unfortunately comes to an end in November 2025. This young man has provided sound judgment, skills, and guidance which kept the very under-resourced police Sarpcco sector within the SADC Secretariat operational under very difficult and trying circumstances. Not once have I seen Mr. Manjera, whom I call Simba, not once have I seen him complaining about being overworked, which is often the case in our circumstances. Allow me to also take this opportunity to personally thank the Republic of Zimbabwe to have provided a person of his quality and caliber to the SADC Secretariat. We really appreciate this. I am also very hopeful that the 4 positions that the chiefs of police recommended, which are at an advanced stage right now, will be filled by officers of his capabilities, attitude, more especially, skills and behavior. Because if we don't have such, then we're still going to have warm bodies, but struggle to achieve what the region requires us to achieve. Ladies and gentlemen, I would really appreciate if you could ask Mr. Simbarashe Manjera to stand so that you can see this young man I'm talking about and applaud him. Thank you very much, Simba. Chairperson, as I conclude my remarks, it is crystal clear that we need to adopt an interdisciplinary and multidimensional approach to effectively combat TOC. We need to work in unison and with unity of purpose as a region. Let us continue cooperating and collaborating through implementing regional strategic instruments such as the SADC Protocol on Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters and the SADC Protocol on Extradition. We also need to engage more, by actively participating in joint and simultaneous operations that the region conducts. These operations are critical considering that they enhance coordination and harmonization of our efforts as a region, assist in pulling resources together, and most importantly, sharing information. And with these very few remarks, I wish you a fruitful, robust, and very constructive meeting as we lay the foundation for the Chiefs of Police Annual General Meeting. Asante. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a privilege and honor for me to invite our guest of honor, who is also the chairperson of Sarpcco and Inspector General of Tanzanian Police Force, Afande Camillus Wambura, to the stage. Thank you.
Take your seats, please. Commissioner of Police Ramadhan Kingai, Chairperson of Sarpcco Permanent Coordinating Subcommittee, and the Director of Criminal Investigation Department, Deputy Commissioner of Police Jesse Nyirongo, Director of Criminal Investigation and Head of NCB Lilongwe, Malawi, who is also the incoming chairperson of Sarpcco Permanent Coordinating Subcommittee, Commissioner of Police Maxwell Timber, Director of CID Zambia, the outgoing chairperson of Sarpcco Permanent Coordinating Subcommittee, Ms. Tanyani Gumede, Head of Police, Sarpcco SADC Secretariat, Mr. Selo Mwerane, Head representatives from SADC Secretariat, representatives from Interpol Arabi Harari, members of the local organizing committee, invited guests, members of press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Bonjour. Bom dia, habari ya asubuhi. Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Nidhamu, haki, weledi na uadilifu. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to join the Director of CID Tanzania in raising my voice to take this precious opportunity to thank our Almighty God, the Creator, who granted us protection and made us meet here in the Sun City of Dar es Salaam after you met almost a year since June 2024 in Lusaka, Zambia. On behalf of Tanzania Police Force and the people of the United Republic of Tanzania, we welcome you all to Tanzania, and particularly here in this beautiful city of Dar es Salaam. Your presence here today is a clear sign of how you honored the Sarpcco technical organs meeting, which is held annually to discuss security issues posed by TOC around our region and beyond. Along the same breath, this meeting will also have an opportunity to go through the draft annotated agenda and come up with some working recommendations at the disposal of the Chiefs of Police Subcommittee for their considerations. We highly depend on your meeting as the technocrats of our Chiefs of Police. We thank you all for coming, and you are all welcomed to Tanzania. Distinguished delegates, today I'm privileged and honored to speak before you in this opening ceremony. I understand that most of you traveled long distances connecting from your home destinations. It was not a coincidence for you choosing to come to Tanzania. Rather, was a dedicated plan to come and share the experiences and information you have, making sure that we make the region a safer and secure place to live. We are here today because of our common regional cross-border security challenges, which call for joint and concerted efforts, strategies to prevent and fight the menace. This is due to the cross-pollination nature of syndicates and criminal networks, bilaterally or regionally. All these regional challenges together remind me of the Swahili proverb which says, and I quote, umoja ni nguvu, utengano ni udhaifu. I close the quote. The phrase can be literally translated in English as unity is strength, division is weakness. Distinguished delegates, I wish to inform you that Tanzania is continuing to enjoy its political and security stability. As you might have been informed, Tanzania is preparing to conduct the general election in October 2025. All the law enforcement agencies, including the police force, are working tirelessly, making sure that the country is safe and secure during, before, and after the general election 2025. We might need your cooperation and support by sharing any intelligence information, making sure that this national commitment is done diligently and in a more peaceful manner. We are committed making sure that the security situation is guaranteed to all the people of the United Republic of Tanzania. Distinguished delegates, allow me only hint on two crimes of my interest today, namely terrorism and cybercrime. The threat of terrorism as one of the most serious crimes in the region need more attention in our discussion, taking into account its destabilizing effects it brings. More need to be done in our region to mitigate the threat of terrorism and the radicalization. In this note, allow me to quote Mr. Du Bois, who said, and I quote, "The chief problem in any community is not punishment of the criminals, but the preventing of the young from being trained to crime." I close the quote. You therefore need to critically interrogate some working strategies which suit the regional context, considering the socio-economic and political dimensions of the threat itself. Cybercrime has also been discussed at different levels, from national, regional, and global spaces, though the problem is gaining speed. Following the development of information, communication, and technology, most crimes are changing in their modus operandi, and the cyberspaces are highly utilized in committing different criminality. I therefore urge you to also focus on cybercrime sophisticated solutions which respond to our regional environments, considering its complexity and the economic loss that are connected to its criminality. I also took note of the draft annotated agenda, which has different issues to be discussed. Some of the issues include, but not limited to, cybercrime challenges, illicit drugs, and firearms trafficking, small arms, and light weapons in Africa, 2021-2030. Transnational organized crimes in the region, financial and intellectual property crimes, Sarpcco joint operations, and regional Sarpcco training calendar. The raised agenda in the annotated agenda need your comprehensive indulgence during discussions so that we can later have the best and working solutions which suit our strategic and operational context in regional policing. Dear delegates, my duty today was just to come and officiate the opening section of this important regional meeting. However, I thought it was prudent to share some few concerns of our regional security threats. As you go on with this meeting, you are urged to note that the Chiefs of Police Subcommittee heavily relies upon you bringing working solutions and strategies to curb TOC. You are kindly urged to make full of this rare opportunity, because of this is one of the strategic planning forum where we develop and confirm some strategic security plans. Convening of Sarpcco experts at this forum also brings us to common saying, which I quote, "Failure to plan is planning fail." Additionally, General Sun Tzu, in his book famous titled The Art of War, while stressing on the importance of planning, he said, and I quote, "Victorious warriors win first and then they go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win." Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. I close the quote. On a different statement, General Sun Tzu said, and I quote, "All wars are won or lost before they are ever fought. All wars are won or lost before they are ever fought." I close. It is therefore prudent to continue cooperating and collaborating amongst SADC Sarpcco states from the planning phases to the execution of our strategies by sharing intelligence, undertaking joint trainings, joint operations, and developing legal and institutional frameworks in order to maintain peace and order in our region and beyond. Dear delegates, let me once again welcome you in Dar, and it is my belief that your stay in Dar es Salaam will be historical and memorable one. Our local organizing committee, assisted by the SADC Sarpcco Secretariat, will be at your disposal to facilitate your stay in Dar es Salaam. During and after the meetings, you may consider visiting different Tanzanian tourist sites, including Zanzibar Spice Island, Mikumi National Park, Selous National Park, and Ngorongoro Crater. I wish you fruitful discussions and deliberations. With these remarks, I now have the honor to declare that the Sarpcco Technical Organs meeting in Dar es Salaam from 28th to 30th of April 2025 is officially open. Thank you for listening. Asanteni kwa kunisikiliza. Mwito obrigado, merci beaucoup. Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, nidhamu, haki, weledi na uadilifu. Asanteni sana.
Thank you. May we see.
Mkurugenzi wa Upelelezi wa Makosa Jinai wa Shirikisho la Wakuu wa Majeshi ya Polisi kutoka Nchi Wanachama Kusini mwa Afrika SADC. Aprili tayari hapa afande IGP ameshafungua.
Na tukumbushe tu mpenzi mtazamaji, baadhi ya vitu ameongea mkuu Camillus Wambura pamoja na tatizo la ugaidi ambalo linaonekana kuwa tishio. Sambamba na hilo basi ameweza kuelezea swala uchaguzi huu mwezi Oktoba na kusema kuwa jeshi la polisi litahakikisha linalinda kuanzia mwanzo mpaka mwisho. Uchaguzi huu utafanyika salama kabisa.
Kifuatacho hivi sasa, mtazamaji wa Salaam TV, ni upigaji picha. Upigaji picha kwa kama unavyosikia MC Christina Mponji. Sasa hivi kinachofuata ni upigaji picha kama group. Basi Gloria,
Na hala baada ya mkuu wa jeshi la polisi kufungua kabidhiwa kijiti kuendeleza mkutano ni mwenyekiti ambaye kwa mwenyekiti au wakurugenzi Upelelezi wa makosa ya jinai kutoka kusini mwa nchi za SADC hizi, lakini huyu ni mwenyeji kutoka hapa nchini Tanzania, si mwingine ni mkurugenzi wa upelelezi wa makosa ya jinai wa Jeshi la Polisi Tanzania DCI Ramadhani Kingai, wa sasa mwenyeji mwenye dhamana wa kuongoza mkutano huu.
Basi tupate kusikia kile ambacho kinaendelea, na mara baada ya moja kwa moja groups zile za picha zitaanza kupigwa.
And the legal subcommittee will split into the rooms as follows. Training subcommittee will be meeting in Bagamoyo in the upstairs. Women's network will meet in a hall known as Mikumi room, also in the upstairs. Legal subcommittee will remain here, and translation services will be provided here and in the rooms. But there will also be tea, coffee service, and later lunch, which will be taken from the following: VIP, that is the guest of honor, and the high table, and the commissioners of police present from Tanzania, and directors of CID, that is all members of the permanent coordinating subcommittee, will be taking their tea and their lunch from a room known as Kitulo. It is also in the upstairs. Other meeting delegates will be in Mount Meru, and supporting staff will be in Kilimanjaro in the upstairs. I am pleased to inform the directors of CID that after tea, they have been invited by the chairman of Permanent Coordinating Subcommittee, director of CID Tanzania, to visit our police field force unit, to their headquarters, regional headquarters in Dar es Salaam, where they are running different trainings. This will take place after tea, where we expect after tea we shall be leaving here. That is about 10:30. We shall be riding to Ukonga Field Force Unit. Then we shall spend the time there observing what is taking place up to 12:30, where we shall come back in order to have lunch. After lunch, directors, sir, and the madams, you will retire to your to Serena, or if you want maybe to have anything private at that time. But please remember that at 16 hours, we shall now resume to permanent coordinating subcommittee meeting in this venue, and all the groups will also come back to this venue for the meeting. Without much ado, guest of honor, sir, the high table, and all the delegates, I now ask you to proceed to the photoground. Thank you very much.
Basi mtazamaji wa Usalama TV, kama ambavyo hapa kueleza hapa mkuu wa Interpol, kinachofuata hivi sasa ni upigaji wa picha na wanakwenda zile za magroup goli.
Lakini pia licha ya kufunguliwa mkutano huu, kutakuwepo na kamati tendaji za Sarpcco, ambapo masuala mbalimbali yatakwenda kujadiliwa, ikiwemo jinsi ya kukabiliana na uhalifu wa kupanga na unaovuka mipaka kwa kufanya operesheni za pamoja katika kubaini na kukabiliana na makosa mbalimbali kama vile dawa za kulevya, wizi wa magari, usafirishaji haramu wa binadamu na ugaidi. Haya mambo yatakwenda kujadiliwa na kuweza kupata suluhu basi kwa ushirikiano wa hizi nchi wanachama kutoka Kusini mwa Afrika, yani Sarpcco.
Mtazamaji wa Salama TV, kama ndo kwanza unajiunga na matangazo haya ya moja kwa moja mubashara, bado uko nami Steven Mbando nikiwa na Glory Maganza. Na kama hujaelewa kuhusiana na Sarpcco, ni kwamba ni taasisi ya ushirikiano kati ya wakuu wa polisi kutoka nchi za kusini mwa Afrika, na lengo kuu la Sarpcco kuimarisha ushirikiano wa kikanda katika vita dhidi ya uhalifu, hususan uhalifu wa mipakani kama vile biashara haramu ya madawa ya kulevya, uhamiaji haramu, biashara ya silaha, uhalifu wa kimtandao na ugaidi. Pia wanashirikiana kubadilishana taarifa za kiintelijensia, kushirikiana katika mafunzo na kupanga operesheni za pamoja. Na historia tu na malengo ya Sarpcco hii ilianzishwa mwaka 1990 kama jukwaa la ushirikiano kati ya wakuu wa polisi wa nchi za kusini mwa Afrika. Ilianzishwa kwa juhudi za pamoja na kupambana na uhalifu taifa kupitia ushirikiano wa kijeshi, kiintelijensia na kiutawala.
Vile kamati tendaji za Sarpcco, yani technical organs, ambazo zinajumuisha wajumbe kutoka nchi wanachama, zitajadili masuala ya usuyo sheria, mafunzo na jinsia, ambapo baadaye watakuwa na maazimio ambayo yatawasilishwa kwenye mkutano mkuu wa mwaka wa wakuu wa polisi wa shirikisho hilo uliopangwa kufanyika mwezi Juni mwaka huu.
Wanachama wa Sarpcco ni nchi wanachama ambao wako kwenye SADC, yani Southern African Development Community, na nchi hizo ni pamoja na Angola, Botswana, visiwa vya Komoro, yani Comoros, Democratic Republic of Congo DRC, Eswatini, Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi,
Swaziland, Tanzania, Zambia na Zimbabwe,
na bila kusahau nchi kama Msumbiji pamoja na Lesotho. Jinsi ambavyo naweza kuzungumza kwamba ni mafanikio makubwa, ambapo Glory tumeona hapa jeshi la polisi, mkuu wa jeshi la polisi ambaye ni mwenyekiti wa shirikisho la wakuu wa majeshi ya polisi kutoka nchi wanachama zilizopo kusini mwa Afrika, Sarpcco, jinsi ambavyo ameweza kufungua basi mkutano huu ambao utachukua siku 3 kuanzia leo tarehe 28 Aprili mpaka tarehe 30 Aprili 2025. Na sasa hivi hapa kitakachofuata mara baada picha hapo nje, hapa ndani wakirudi basi moja kwa moja watakuwepo na mwenyeji wao kama walivyotaka kuzungumza. Watakuwa hapa na mkurugenzi wa upelelezi wa makosa jinai nchini DCI Ramadhani Kingai, ambaye ndiye wa mkutano huu.
Kwanza, mkutano huu umetukutanisha, umefanyika leo, unaanza leo kufanyika hapa jijini Dar es Salaam. Mkutano wa sasa hivi ni mkutano wa wakuu wa upelelezi wa makosa ya jinai wa nchi hizi zote za kusini mwa Afrika, ambayo tunasema ni chini ya ushirika ama mashirikiano ya wakuu wa polisi chini ya nchi za kusini mwa Afrika au Sarpcco. Sasa hawa wakuu wa upelelezi wanakutana kujadili changamoto mbalimbali za uhalifu mkubwa, uhalifu wa kupanga na uhalifu unaovuka mipaka. Makosa makubwa kama ugaidi, usafirishaji haramu wa binadamu na makosa mengine yote makubwa yale ya kupanga na yanayovuka mipaka. Sasa wakuu wa upelelezi hawa wanakwenda kujadili aina ya makosa haya, ukuaji wa makosa haya na namna nzuri za kuweza kuyadhibiti, lakini ushirikiano sahihi wa nchi hizi za kusini mwa Afrika unavyoweza kushughulika na makosa haya na kuweza kuyadhibiti. Na mkutano huu ni maandalizi ya mkutano wa wakuu wa polisi wa nchi za kusini mwa Afrika. Kwa hiyo hawa wakuu wa upelelezi wanachakata agenda zile ambazo zimeandaliwa, lakini wanakuwa wanapitia kwenye mijadala mbalimbali ili waweze kupeleka sasa kwa ajili ya maamuzi kwa wakuu wa majeshi ya polisi ya kusini mwa Afrika. Ndio madhumuni makubwa ya mkutano huu. Kwanza mimi kama mwenyekiti wa Sarpcco, yani mashirikiano ya wakuu wa polisi wa kusini mwa Afrika, mimi kama mwenyekiti ninafahamu kwamba kuna mafanikio makubwa sana ambayo yametokana na mashirikiano yetu ambayo tunaendelea nayo, na mojawapo ni mapambano dhidi ya uhalifu huu. Kumekuwa na mawasiliano ya moja kwa moja kati ya nchi hizi dhidi ya wahalifu, lakini dhidi ya uhalifu. Kwa hiyo tunaweza tukaona jinsi uhalifu unavyoshuka katika nchi mbalimbali. Hata mafanikio yetu hapa nchini yapo mengine yanatokana na ushirikiano na nchi zingine ambazo ziko kusini mwa Afrika. Kwa hiyo ni miongoni mwa mafanikio ambayo tunayapata. Kwa kiwango kikubwa uhalifu unazidi kudhibitiwa, lakini kwa kiwango kikubwa tunazidi kuhakikisha kwamba wahalifu wanadhibitiwa kwa kiwango cha hali ya juu. Miongoni mwa mambo ambayo yapo na yanajadiliwa na yataendelea kujadiliwa na huwa yanafanyika ni kuwa na operation za pamoja, lakini kuwa na mafunzo ya pamoja. Zaidi ya hapo, mara kadhaa tumekuwa tunapofanya hizo operation tumeona matunda yake ni makubwa sana, lakini kupitia mafunzo haya tumekuwa tuna maafisa wa polisi, askari wa polisi ambao wana grade moja. Lakini kikubwa kingine ambacho kinahusisha na mkutano huu ni ile sharing ya intelligence, lakini pia na information mbalimbali, kupashana taarifa mbalimbali za uhalifu na za uhalifu, lakini pia taarifa mbalimbali za kiintelijensia. Nayo ni mambo ambayo yanajadiliwa, na kwa kukutana mara kwa mara kama hivi, kukaa pamoja, kuongea pamoja, kujadili mambo pamoja, inatufanya tunakuwa karibu sana. Kwa hiyo ule ukaribu wetu unaturahisishia kuweza kushughulika na uhalifu, lakini pia kushughulika na wahalifu.
Basi mtazamaji, na huo ndio msafara wa mwenyekiti wa Shirikisho la Wakuu wa majeshi ya polisi kutoka nchi wanachama zilizopo kusini mwa Afrika, Sarpcco, ambaye ndiye mgeni rasmi wa leo, ambaye amefungua pia mkutano huu. Ni Mkuu wa Jeshi la Polisi Tanzania IGP Camillus Wambura. Ndivyo unavyotoka hivyo. Sasa ni muda ambao Mkurugenzi wa Upelelezi wa Makosa ya Jinai nchini DCI Ramadhani Kingai ndivyo atakavyokuwa mwenyeji sasa wa mkutano huu, kujadiliana kuhusiana na kukabiliana na uhalifu wa kupanga na unaovuka mipaka kwa kufanya operations za pamoja katika kubaini na kukabiliana na makosa kama vile dawa za kulevya, wizi wa magari, usafirishaji haramu wa binadamu na ugaidi. Mtazamaji wa Usalama TV, muda wote ulikuwa nami Gifty Steven Mbando nikiwa na mwenzangu
Gloria Maganza.
Tunakutakia utazamaji mwema wa vipindi vinavyoendelea hapa
Usalama TV.